Hi, DuBose. Thank you for joining us on Ample News. Let's dive right in. The recent focus on sustainability and brand strategy is undeniable. How do you see brands effectively balancing environmental responsibility with the need to drive business growth?
Well, no brand exists in isolation. They're all part of the world we live in. It's just to what level the responsibility and how they act is something they talk about versus something they quietly do. I think brand purpose has been something that has become a bit of a cause du jour amongst marketers over the last few years. And everyone felt like they had to adopt a very explicit and loud brand purpose. Whereas actually, every brand has a purpose at its heart. It's just what's the responsible angle of that purpose and what's the best way to serve it. I think one of the assumptions was that brand purpose would naturally be a way to instantly increase sales. Whereas actually, purpose goes much deeper than that. And sustainability isn't just something to use in messaging, it's something to bake into every aspect of a brand.
That's a great point, DuBose. Let's talk about the practical side. What are some examples of brands you think are truly integrating sustainability into their core rather than just using it as a marketing message?
So I think when you think about brands integrating sustainability into their core operations, there's a few ways that looks. Everyone naturally hops to the Ben and Jerry's of the world, the Naturas of the world, the Body Shops of the world, where there was an aspect of sustainability that was loudly communicated there. But I think it's also worth acknowledging that wider Unilever brands or Samsung with its initiative where they reuse old mobile phones and gave them to different governmental bodies, I think are all great examples of quiet sustainability. So I think one of the things that's worth thinking about whenever we celebrate any brand's approach to sustainability is the idea that it may not be something that's being loudly shouted, but it still might make quite an impact.
Absolutely, DuBose. Quiet impact can be just as powerful as loud messaging. Let's shift to the role of strategic insight. How can brands use data and research to guide authentic sustainability efforts rather than just following trends?
Well, I think you raise a great question there, which is if a brand is only following trends, then in a way, is it intentionally being sustainable or is it just hopping on a bandwagon that everyone else has hopped on? And I think while doing good, no matter the reason why you've done it, it's important. If you've just hopped on what everyone else is doing, you're very likely to hop off that bandwagon again at a certain point. Whereas when we talk about authenticity, like you've raised, there's an interesting opportunity to listen and understand A, what is something that's authentic to a company's ethos and operations, what's something they can realistically do, and B, what's something consumers are actually calling out for or noticing. I think really authentic sustainability efforts from brands often come from an overlap of two things: a need that exists in the world that customers or consumers are looking for, and a value or opportunity internally that allows a way to solve that need and solve that issue. That takes data, that takes intention, and that takes thoughtfulness beyond just this is the thing everyone's talking about, we need to have an answer for it.
That's a thoughtful perspective, DuBose. As we wrap up, what advice would you give to brands just starting to integrate sustainability into their strategy, especially when it comes to staying authentic and impactful?
Do it in phases. You don't have to be Superman overnight. At the end of the day, making steps towards becoming a more sustainable brand is a journey and it iteratively occurs. I think a lot of the time there's a real sense of, right, we've decided to do this, we have to do it tomorrow, and we have to transform everything. And while that enthusiasm is incredibly exciting and infectious, I think at the end of the day, a lot of the time it sets brands up to fail because they bite off more than they can chew when it comes to sustainability and it comes to making a positive impact. Honestly, look at what your company can do. Honestly, look at how you marry purpose and profit together so that over time you make a sustainable approach towards sustainability. At the end of the day, one of the things I've always said is until it's on a company's balance sheet, you can't trust that they're going to stick with it. So integrating sustainability beyond the cosmetic is going to be the thing that provides an impact. And doing that often requires seeing it as a journey.
That's excellent advice, DuBose. Seeing sustainability as a journey, not a sprint, and making sure it's truly integrated into the business. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and experience with us today. It's been a pleasure having you on Ample News. Take care, and we hope to speak with you again soon.